Varjak Paw by S. F. Said and illustrated by Dave McKean. Chapter 16. They emerged from Holly's secret alleys into a back street. The city was louder here. Varjak could hear the shrieks and the roars of those metal monsters close by. There were people too. Their long, striding shadows flickered on the walls and their shoes click-clacked on the pavement. "Keep your head down," said Holly as she led the way through black, rain-soaked streets. "Don't get seen. You can't be too careful in this part of town." "This is where a lot of vanishings happened," added Tam. That word again, vanishings. Everyone seemed to be talking about it. "What's a vanishing?" said Varjak. "It happens all over the city," Tam whispered, "but especially here. One day a cat's there, the next they're gone, with no trace, nothing, just gone, vanished." Her brown eyes closed in dread. "Some say it's her." Varjak smiled and looked at Holly, expecting that she'd make a joke of it, but even Holly's tail swished anxiously. "The truth is, no one knows," she said, black and white fur prickling. "It's another reason why Ginger and his gang are so edgy right now. They've lost a lot of good cats. Who's next? That's the question." The question made Varjak think about home. Who'd be next for the gentleman and his cats now the elder paw had gone? He shivered at the thought. The world he came from and this world outside were so different. The gentleman and the blues meant nothing here. The Contessa's house had no gangs or vanishings. Was he all that connected to worlds? So who was he? And where did he belong? He couldn't go home without a dog, that much he knew. What would it take to make a new life outside? "Maybe I should be in a gang," mused Varjak. In a gang it wouldn't matter that he wasn't proper Mesopotamian blue, or that he'd failed his family. No one would know, no one would care. He could be himself, he could be part of something, he could even have friends. "Gangs are always pushing you around, telling you what to do," said Holly. "It's nothing but yes, boss this, and yes, boss that." "My gang would be different," said Varjak. "You could do what you like doing in my gang." "And who's going to be in this gang with you?" "Well, there's you two and me, and that's a start." "Oh, sounds fun," said Tam. Holly laughed. "You think so? And what about the small problem that one of our gang doesn't have a clue what he's doing?" Varjak stopped and stood up straight. "There were 5 of them," he protested. "I don't mean that. I mean, well, everything. Everything you know, how to survive in a city, how to find food and shelter, how to stay out of trouble, how to—" "I can't find food. I'm a hunter." He knew she didn't believe him, but he couldn't stop now. "I'm the greatest hunter in the world." "The greatest hunter in the world?" she scoffed. "You? Pet cat Varjak, you couldn't even get your own breakfast." But Varjak wasn't listening any more. Stung by Holly's words, he followed his senses down a turning off the street he was going to show her. "Why are you so mean to him?" said Tam. "It's obvious he can't hunt, but there's no need—" "I haven't finished yet. Hey, Varjak, come back. You're not safe on your own. Where are you going?" "To get my own breakfast," he growled. He could hear the buzz of streetlights, the roaring of dogs, the rumbling of the city that never stopped. But above all he could sense something else, something close drawing him on. He followed it into the shadows, further from the lights. "Come back here!" shouted Holly. His eyes slowly adjusted to the dark. Deep down the alleyway he glimpsed a soggy mound of paper and boxes. He could smell food, salty, fishy, oily. But that wasn't what had drawn him. His awareness started to tingle. There was something else. It was as if he was being watched, not just by Holly and Tam, but by some part of the darkness with eyes as black as shadow. He let his awareness flow out. What he sensed was odd and cold. Something not quite alive, but not quite dead either. He frowned. It felt wrong. "Varjak Paw, it's dangerous down there. Come back right now." It was Holly. He hushed her, and turned back, the tension rising within him. But that strange sensation was gone, leaving no trace. Had he just imagined it? All this talk of vanishings was getting to him. Puzzled, he probed the shadows again with his whiskers. Motion. This time he felt motion out there in the dark. What was it? Hidden behind the rubbish, something small and sleek was moving. A mouse. It was only a mouse. He let out the tension and grinned. That must have been it all along. Nothing more than a real live and very breakfast-sized mouse. So this is it, he told himself, your big moment, your first prey. This is not a toy, this is not a dream. It's real and it's happening now. Don't move, not till it's in range, don't even breathe. Here it comes. It thinks it's safe. Hunting, the third skill. When you stalk your prey, you become your prey. Varjak's senses went out to it, tracing its tiniest movements, merging with it in his mind. The mouse came closer, closer. Crack! His paws shot out, slapped the mouse's head hard, stunned it, held it down, jaws closed around its neck, teeth sank in the lethal bite. Varjak gasped. He had killed for real, and it was like killing a part of himself. I'm sorry, he thought, beginning to shake. I'm sorry, but I have to eat. Enough and no more. That is the way the world is made. He stooped and gently picked up the body, his first kill. He gave silent thanks and crunched into his breakfast. It was strange. On the outside it looked and even smelled like that toy mouse back in the Countess's house, but as soon as he bit into it, he knew that this was something new. It tasted so different to anything he'd eaten before. Real food, fresh and warm. It satisfied him completely. Did you see that? Said Tam. Did you see the way he did it, Holly? Bam! It never had a chance. I saw it, said Holly. Wasn't it something? Beamed Tam. Where did you learn to do that, Varjak? Will you teach me? Actually, he admitted, that was the first time. Holly nodded. I thought it might be. Still, I've seen worse, a lot worse, she winked. Maybe you're not as useless as you look, Mr. Paw. Varjak smiled. He'd never had to rely on people again. He was a hunter now. He had the third skill. Tam's nostrils twitched. What's that smell? She said. Varjak and Holly sniffed the air. The alley curved away into complete darkness, and after that salty, fishy tang was coming from a place they couldn't see further down. The scent reminded Varjak of the gentleman's caviar, another thing he'd never have to eat. It smells great, said Tam. I'm going after it. I wouldn't, warned Holly. We're too near Ginger's turf. You don't want to risk it. Wait for the park. Tam licked her chops. At least it's not her territory, and it smells so good, Holly. There's no one else around. It'll be okay. Come on, Varjak, let's eat. You really like that smell, he said. It's already dangerous here, said Holly. I'm not going any further. You killjoy, muttered Tam. Holly knows best. Holly always knows best. It's true, I do. Well, I bet there's nothing to eat in the park, said Tam, so there. She was right. The park had been picked clean already. They could find no food at all. They came away hungry, except for Varjak Paw.